grew up in Eastern Europe, so I've been trained to sleep pretty much anywhere. That being said, I maybe draw the line at sleeping inside another species' literal ass. Unless... Can't say the same for these aquatic backshots. Pearl fish are quite vulnerable. They don't have any scales, or swag, or dignity, so they've made the rear ends of sea cucumbers their safe haven / sleeping bags. By pretty much just waiting for a sea cucumber to take a butt breath and schmoozing inside. Yes, sea cucumbers breathe through their butt. But what's more confusing is none of the sea cucumber's defense mechanisms have any effect on the pearlfish. Why not? Well, prior to entry, these sneaky little shoelaces loop themselves up using their own personal brand of mucus, which not only lets them slip in easier, but also acts as a barrier against the host's toxins. And damn, that sentence really sounds like a 60s sex ed PSA. Most species exist together like this symbiotically. I say most because some pearlfish eat the sea cucumber's gonads, which doesn't kill the host, but is the equivalent of crashing on your friend's couch and breaking their PlayStation, or crashing on your friend's couch and eating their gonads.
Yum.
And now you might be wondering, how do they get away with all that in this economy? An entire 10-inch long sea cucumber for just one little 3-inch fish? Well, in areas where sea cucumbers are more scarce, which I wonder whose fault that is, a pearlfish can share with up to 15 roommates. Nobody is safe from the housing crisis. Number 2, dolphins. Here's a cool dolphin fact: they blow. And they also suck. But also, they have to actively think about their breathing. Millions of years of evolution, and you have to decide when to take your next breath? If they fell asleep like we do, they would either die from suffocation or hypothermia, which is fully their choice. Animals that developed lungs and still chose water are unserious about being mammals, and I care little about them. But how do they sleep then? Dolphins use the two sides of their brain independently, and they do that better than any other animal, which means they might be the only species that can fully appreciate half-screen hydraulic press, half-screen Family Guy. They can also keep one half of their brain awake while the other sleeps. And yes, the eye on the side that's sleeping stays open because, like most vertebrates, each eye sends information to the opposite hemisphere. Dolphins usually rest like this while slowly moving near the surface to be as submersive and breathable as possible. And all in all, they sleep for about 8 hours and 4 hours per hemisphere shifts. But honestly, with all the horrific acts they engage in, I'm surprised they sleep at all. Other cetaceans do this too, with some differences. Baby orcas and their moms, similarly to humans, do not sleep for the first month after birth. That's because in order to survive, a calf needs to stay in its mother's slipstream. It's still weak and can't float, so it depends on constant motion to stay positioned next to her. And I'm just saying, we have strollers and stuff on the land. All you have is 3,000 species of jellyfish and unspeakable horrors. Sperm whales are also thought to exclusively half sleep, oftentimes like the homies after 27 beers. But recently researchers came across a group of them fully asleep. The whales didn't sense them at all, and only after a boat nudged one of them did they wake up and clear out. Now number 3 is the final underwater creature, the parrotfish. One of the most goated sea dwellers. I mean, look at this beautiful picture of a white sand beach. Yeah? Do you enjoy? Well, the parrotfish pooped all this out, so you're welcome. Their resting habits widely vary. Most species are not really concerned with finding shelter, but the queen parrotfish has an intricate nighttime routine that includes secreting a mucus bubble around itself by using special glands located behind its gills. Now, it was argued that they do this to hide their scent, but more recently, researchers have suggested that the slime sac actually keeps tiny blood-sucking parasites off of them while they rest. And wow, I wish I could shit out 5-star beaches and throw up mosquito nets. Now for some nature-made delights within our comprehension. Number 4, sea otters. Freshwater otters usually sleep in dens, but you've probably seen pictures of sea otters holding hands while they sleep. And that's so that they don't float away from each other, like the homies after 27 beers. But the best part here is that I recently found out that they also wrap themselves together with kelp, and up to 10 otters can float like this. This is proof that God once cared. Also, yes, I would go on the Titanic if these were the rafts. Number 5, giraffes. Giraffes only sleep for 30 minutes a day. Here's what I would accomplish if I only slept 30 minutes a day. Poopy. Poopy, we love you. Here's what the giraffe does with 23 full hours. About 12 are spent mugging other herbivores by eating the best leaves nature can offer. Then for around 6, they'll be chewing partially digested regurgitated food. And the rest of the time, they're either walking around to find more food or being gay. No 27 beers needed. Giraffes are just like that. Aww. But why do they only sleep for 30 minutes? Well, because 1, lying down is hard. 2, they might choke on cud. And 3, they need to be alert as to not get eaten by something with a better digestive system. Even though the something with a better digestive system sleeps for like 20 hours a day. And it's not even a full 30 minutes, by the way. Giraffes take Japanese salaryman style micro naps. Still, it's funny how I get so much shit from my grandma. You did not grow because you did not sleep enough. And this long neck just gets to exist. Also, a lot of animals do sleep standing up with the help of knees that lock into place. It's usually species that are too big, and their organs will get crushed if they lie down for more than 30 minutes, but they still need to do that in order to go into REM sleep from time to time. Number 6. Apes. Apes unsurprisingly sleep just like us, sometimes alone, sometimes with family, even curled up on their side, in their little beds made of branches and leaves, with a suitably long Mr. Ballin video in the background. Only difference is they make a new bed every night, and that's not like an easy task. It is the equivalent of building your own IKEA bed every night. Like, somebody get this guy a Helix sponsorship, jeez. Number 7, rats. Every living thing needs rest, even plants. But only mammals, birds, and some reptiles dream, and even that's under question. But if they do dream, what do they dream about? Well, scientists at MIT measured the brain activity of rats as they went through mazes. Then they measured brain activity while the rats slept. And what the researchers saw repeatedly was nearly the exact same patterns being reproduced in the maze and during REM sleep. The rats were dreaming of the mazes, and the scientists could even tell which part of the maze they were dreaming of. Now, experts argue that it's impossible to tell if these rats are actually dreaming, but those experts have probably never had a PSP. When I was a kid and had literally nothing else going on in my life, I played Dream Crash Mind Over Mutant all the time. I'm sure if all I did every day was go through mazes, that's all I dream about too. Like, I volunteer. Hook me up. You can probably tell which level I'm on. Do I get paid or... cheese. Excellent. Speed round? Meerkat. I've already discussed how meerkat societies run on conspiracy and slavery, but everyone takes a turn keeping lookout while the majority sleep in a pile inside a burrow. Also, different colonies have different sleep schedules. Walruses can go long periods without sleeping, but when they do, they sometimes dig their tusks into ice plates and sleep like that, which is something that bees also do, but with flower petals, so it's cuter. Cockroaches like to sleep inside warm electronics, so they should probably get the Razer AI goon jars to detect those. It'd be kinda essential to the client base. Speaking of goon jars, the best way to sleep is to never sleep again by buying Gamer Subs with code POOPY, 10% off on Gamer Subs. Sugar-free, keto-friendly. But wait, Gamer Subs actually accommodate all sleeping schedules. If you want to cut back on caffeine, Mr. Better Than Everybody Else, Gamer Subs have caffeine-free options. They even have flavors that actually help you sleep better, but only if you use code POOPY, 10% off. Gamer Subs, gamersubs.com, worldwide shipping. I like the grape one. Okay, bye.